Dear students, my dear viewers, and my dear subscribers, this is Madhu Ravuri, English communication expert. I have recently uploaded my video also, and I am very happy for an overwhelming response from the subscriber side. And I got an email from one of my subscribers. He asked me, he sent me a query, sir, I have been studying English medium since my childhood, but I am not able to speak English fluently. What are the reasons? Can you state? I am going to teach you the reasons why many students are not able to speak English fluently. There are three reasons. They are fear, number two, shyness, number three, complex. Dear friends, I would call these three reasons as impediments. Listen to me very intently, attentively, considerately, assiduously. I call these three factors or reasons as impediments. I'll give you some other words for that word impediment. One, impediment. Two, barrier. Impediments, barriers, deterrents, drawbacks, hiccups. Then you got good number of words. When you want to learn English language, you must know the importance of English language. Dear friends, English is a foreign language. English is a lingua franca. Lingua franca. Meaning of this phrase, lingua franca, means, the language of the masses. The language of the masses. English is a universal language. And English can also be called a space language, because in space there is a Japanese, there is a German, there is a Russian, there is a Korean, there is an Indian, there is an American, but the medium of language among themselves is English. That is why English is a unique language. English is a universal language. English is a space language. It is not that much easy to learn English in a overnight. What compels my wonder is that many people state that they can teach English within 24 hours. There are so many institutions, spoken English institutions, where they boast that they can teach English within 24 hours. Now, I'm sorry, I don't agree with this. I don't mean to blame my English teaching fraternity, but I just want to tell you the truth. I have just used one word: impediment, barrier, deterrent, drawback, hiccups, hindrances, obstacles, restraints. See how many words I'm using to give the meaning of what you call, reason. These three reasons can be called as, these words, hiccups, drawbacks, and I would use one more wonderful word: stumbling blocks. Stumbling blocks. What are these called? What are these reasons called? They are stumbling blocks, they are barriers, they are obstacles, they are hindrances, they are restraints, they are impediments, they are drawbacks. Because the first drawback, first impediment, first deterrent, first stumbling block is fear. I can elaborate fear in other words. What I mean is, F stands for false, E stands for evidence, A stands for appears or appearing, appears. R stands for real. In other words, one can say false evidence appears real because it is false, because you feel that English is difficult for you, But if you practice English, if you uh, do workouts reasonably, scientifically, according to some rules and regulations of English language, you can master the language. It is not a overnight business. You have to do some workouts. That is why you fear that I think English is a very difficult language. I cannot speak. It is not like that. English is a very easy language, simple language to understand and learn. But thing is that you have to practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. And this is called false evidence. You feel that it is difficult, that it is impossible. I tell you, impossible, the very word says I am possible. If you just can keep one apostrophe between I and M, I am possible. The thing is that you have to put efforts. Unless putting efforts, you cannot master the language. You need to work hardest, and you have to put some efforts. I'll tell you how to improve English. First thing is fear. You think if you speak, you may fail. And I tell you, FAIL, fail means first attempt in learning. If you feel that I'm just making an effort, if you feel that I am making an attempt, you don't just feel fear. Can I give you the good number of words about fear? Then just a minute. No? I just write fear. I'll give you good number of words, good number of synonyms for fear. Fear means angst, ANGST, angst. Phobia, panic, nervous, timorous, stung, dread. You can even write a DRED, dread. These are the words that describe fear, because you fear without any reason. You fear without any sense. You fear without any logic. You fear without any rationality. Fear is stupidity. Why should you fear? Who should you fear? What actually is the reason for your fear? You are worrying about other people. You are worrying about environment stimuli. You are worrying about what people would make comments. So don't just fear. I'll give you just forego your fear like this. Be bold. Be intrepid. Be fearless. Be gutsy. Be courageous. And don't be. This is do's. To thrive out your fear, these are do's and these are don'ts. See, don't be trepidatious because you are fearful. Don't be trepidatious. Don't be fearful. Don't be timorous. TIMOROUS, timorous. You have to motivate yourself like this, Come on, always chant before you go to bed. And you just, no sooner do you get up, you say, I must be bold, I must be courageous, I must not worry about others, I must not think about others. I must do whatever my mind says. I should not worry about others. I don't want to be trepidatious. I'm sorry. I check this pen. Trepidatious. Trepid means fear. I should not be dreadful. I should not be, phobic. I should not be, I should not be anxious. Don't be anxious. So there are some, I think, two or three simple statements to drive out of your mind and heart the bloody fact of fear. Understand your fear, first thing. Second thing, work out where your language gets stuck in your conversations. And third, Open your ears. English is everywhere. Remember one thing, open your ears. English is everywhere. And this is the first vertical, I think, devilsome element that you have to drive away from your mind and heart. Then English becomes very easy and a cakewalk for everybody. Next. Let me ask you one question. Does the thought of speaking in front of a group evoke a fear, make you sweat, and get your heart pounding? It is likely that you are having glossophobia. What is that? Glossophobia. Come on. Glossophobia. The meaning of glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. The fear of public speaking. You can eliminate this glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, by following some small tips. Just go and stand in front of the mirror, speak to the mirror, because mirror is your best friend. Go and imagine that mirror is your friend. Imagine mirror is your dialogue partner, and speak English. Take what you call some notes, and read the notes as though you are talking to some person, and then fear of public speaking will automatically go off from your mind and heart. Next, second, and one more thing, you have to practice till you perfect. I tell you, first, listen. Number 2, speak. Number 3, write. Number 3, read. Number 4, write. Again, repeat. This practice circle will give you wonderful opportunity to drive away your fear, to drive out of your mind the fear factor. Okay. And second factor is, second impediment is, second deterrent is, second drawback is, second hiccup is shyness. Now I am coming to shyness. Yes. Second is shyness. Just a second. Second barrier of your English language, communication, is shyness. The other meanings of shyness is bashful, reticent, aloof, mimosa-like, and taciturn, reserved. These are the words we use for shyness. If you are bashful, if you are reticent, if you are aloof, if you are reserved, if you are tacit, if you are mimosa-like, you cannot just make a language. You cannot learn language. We must understand one thing. Aristotle has already said, man is a social animal, man is a gregarious animal, man lives in groups. If you keep yourself away from society, you cannot interact with people. You cannot make your medium of language. So you have to say goodbye to all these qualities. Don't be aloof. Don't be mimosa-like. Mimosa is a touch-me-not plant. If you just touch the plant, it automatically shrinks. It wouldn't respond. And you are unforthcoming. You are unresponsive. These are all the words we use for shyness. So this quality is also very perilsome, and it will make you disastrous in life if you stick to this particular quality. So just avoid all these qualities. Next, third impediment is, stumbling block is complex. You might have heard 2 complexes. There are 4 complexes, but we might have read only 2 complexes. They are inferiority complex, superiority complex. In fact, superiority is first and inferiority is second complex. And third, Oedipus complex. And fourth one is Electra complex. But we need only these two complexes. A complex is a kind of a feeling that emanates from your heart and mind, whether it is good or bad, whether it is inferior or superior. You feel very much inferior to people who are very much rich, who are majestic in nature. You think that they are, I think, great. They are of noble. They are from noble families. So this thinking is, inferiority thinking. You feel that, I think, you are poor. Your father is a farmer. Your father is a peasant. Your father is a watchman who doesn't have a extolled position in society. That feeling is called inferiority complex. Let me tell you one thing. Being born in poverty is not your fault or mistake, but dying in poverty is your mistake. Being born in poverty is not your mistake, because now you have nothing to do with your birth. After your birth, when you grow up, if you don't reach expected targets, that is your mistake. Dying in poverty is your mistake. So you have to develop superiority complex that I can do. If you want to go onto the dais, stage and speak to the gathering, you must always feel that you must be very much proud, because there are 100 people in the gathering. There are 100 people in the assembly. There are 100 people in the audiences. But you are the only one, who can go onto the dais and speak to the gathering. Whether you speak good or not, whether you speak good or better, best, whether you speak rubbish, whether you speak nonsense, whether you make sickening nonsense. But thing is that, you must feel superior. I can do, I will try. What is there? After all, there are so many people, but I'm able to come onto dais. God has given me an opportunity to prove myself. So if you think like that, you can speak in public effectively. You can develop and enrich your language. And these two complexes are not necessary, relevant. But Oedipus complex, I'll tell you, because I've just given third and fourth complexes. Oedipus complex means, the complex of attracting opposite gender. Mothers love sons, sons love mother, vice versa. Fathers love daughters, daughters love fathers. And boy loves girl, girl loves boy. This is what is called Oedipus complex. And Electra complex, it has so many meanings, but I tell you one, whatever is said is not done. They are very much headstrong, people, and they don't respond to the commands, requests, advice, instructions given by the elders. Electra complex. If you just ask them, come and do read till 11 o'clock and do, homework, workouts, don't do this and that, they do. That is the complex called Electra complex. So this complex is also very perilsome impediment for the developing nature of English language. You cannot develop English, you cannot master the language if you have this complex inside your. This is invisible. See, fear is invisible. Fear is abstract. Even complex is also invisible. You cannot touch it. You cannot. I think it is inside the heart. These three stumbling blocks are called. They are inner enemies. They are internal enemies. They are very dangerous than cancer cells. So be careful, and follow the tips that I have just given to you. Next. How to improve your English? What are the methods? What are the rules and regulations? What things should you do? What things are required to be done by a student who is passionate to learn English communication skills? First thing is vocabulary. Vocabulary, come on, listen to me very intently. Listen to me very vigilantly. Listen to me very watchfully, because the word is a bit difficult. Whenever you come across a word which is very unfamiliar, whenever you come across a word which is not old to you, you have to practice the sound of the word, vocabulary. Generally, people pronounce this word as vocabulary, vocabulary. It is in a lighter vein. No, it's not correct. Vocabulary. Vocabulary includes, vocabulary means words, 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 words. I tell you, my dear chips, my dear folks, can anybody frame a sentence without words? Words are essential to frame, construct sentences. Sentences make, a sentence is a group of words that make a sentence. Sentences make up, the paragraphs. Paragraphs may make up an essay. That becomes a conversation. So, if at all you want to make a lucid conversation, you need words. Without words, it is impossible to make a statement. It is impossible to make a constructive statement. So, words means, vocabulary. Vocabulary includes synonyms, antonyms, and you have got so many. And in synonyms, you have different kinds of. Say, you have to learn verbs, you have to learn adjectives, you have to learn adverbs. These are very essential. These are important toolkits. So, vocabulary is one of the most required skills when learning a foreign language, because everything is based on and developed on vocabulary. Everything means, LSRW, listening, speaking, reading and writing. These 4 skills are developed and based on vocabulary. So if you learn all these skills, synonyms, say for example, I tell you, there is one word, surprise. You just learn good number of words, good number of meanings for one word. You just keep writing. I tell my daughters and everybody, my students, before they go to bed, read and write at least 10 words. Practice 10 words. Then what happens if you do like that? 30 days into 10 is equal to 3,000 words. 30 days into 10 is equal to 300 words. In 1 year, you can learn 1,200 words. In 5 years, you can learn. On an average, if a student learns 5,000 to 10,000 words, he can compete. You can take on GRE, Graduate Record Examination, TOEFL, Test of English as Foreign Language, IELTS, International English Language Testing Systems. So if at all you want to compete for foreign examinations like GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, you have to mug up or by heart or learn at least 10,000 words. Many students do not focus on words. So if at all you want to convey some idea, if at all you want to communicate some idea, you need words. Without words, how can you convey your idea? So many people say, I stammer, everything is staggered, and I stuck up at one point of delivering my idea. It is just because of lack of words. If you don't have words, you cannot just make a language. So vocabulary, say I tell you, surprise is there. There is a word. I am surprised to see that girl is wearing a shabby dress. You say like that, whatever it is, no, surprise. And I give you a lot of synonyms. Bewildered, startled, bewitched. Bewitched means, of course it can be used, it has got another meaning also. But I write only surprise, related to surprise. And puzzled, dumbfounded, confounded, astounded, flummoxed, this is very interesting, flabbergasted. Because of time sense, I am just writing a bit faster, but try to understand. I'll pronounce the word also. Flummoxed and flabbergasted are two interesting words to express high intents of surprise. When you see a boy keeping some beer bottle in the college bag, automatically what happens, you are flabbergasted. See, there is only one word, surprise. You surprise whenever you see something amazing. Amazed is also there. Amazed. See, for one surprise word, I have just written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you learn at least 5 words for a single word as part of synonyms, as part of antonyms, your English becomes extraordinary, your English becomes unique, and your English is always crystal like and of course lucid. My dear students, so vocabulary is the most important component of learning English language. And second thing, you have to, just a second. As part of vocabulary, learn 1,000 words of synonyms and antonyms. Learn 500 descriptive words. Descriptive words means, adjectives. Beautiful, handsome, ardent, angelic, alluring, extraordinary, unique, all these words like that. And learn 1,000 words as part of antonyms, opposite words. Like that, if you learn at least 5,000 words, you can be very at ease of speaking English language. And next, you have to concentrate on the rudimentary principles of grammar. Do not avoid grammatical principles, because without grammar you cannot make perfect English, you cannot make correct English. So grammar is also very essential. Grammar, you need not just learn all principles of grammar, all rudimentary principles of grammar. Grammar is of many types. There is remedial grammar, there is structural grammar, there is transformational grammar, there is error and verification grammar. You have got good number of types of grammar. But you have to concentrate on simple rules and regulations of grammar. First, you have to learn tense. Tense is the heart of English language. Many people do not know how to say. Some people, I think, use you has to, she don't know, he don't know. He should be followed by does and does not. She should be followed by does and does not in simple present tense. I'll, in my forthcoming episode, teach you what actual grammar is. I'll teach you a detailed grammar part, and of course, tenses of grammar. So tense is the heart of English language. Without heart, you cannot just live. Like that, without tense, you cannot make a good English, you cannot make correct English, you cannot make lucid English. So tense is very much important. As part of tense, you have to learn 24 anomalous finits. Remember, so very carefully. You have to learn, there are 24. Many people do not concentrate on these principles of grammar. Unless you learn, there are so many English literature students also make phone calls and ask me different kinds of doubts in grammar. So learn 24 anomalous. They are called helping verbs. They are called anomalous finits. ANOMALOUS. Anomalous finits. They are 24 in number. They are 24. They are very simple, and there are some small exercises. There are some small worksheets. I'll do them in my forthcoming episodes. And all these 24 finits are like this: is, am, are, was, were. See, has, have, had. And you have do, does, did. And you have will, shall, would, should, may, might, can, could, must, ought, need, used to. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and one more is there. There are used to, must, can, could, ought, need, used to. Dare, and 24th is dare. You dare not do like that. So these are 24 anomalous finits. These are called helping verbs. These are called auxiliary finits. So if you learn all these 24 in a proper manner, I think your English becomes very much, simple and easy. Okay. Then you have to learn prepositions. So I'll let you know what are the different kinds of prepositions, how to use all those prepositions. I'll give you example sentences of prepositions in my forthcoming episodes. And you have to learn phrasal verbs. There are some verbs which are followed by, prepositions. They are called phrasal verbs. I'll tell you: put out, put on, switch off, switch in, come in, take back. Like that, there are so many. So you have to learn at least 50 phrasal verbs. Apart from these, learn proverbs, maxims, precepts, old sayings. They are called adages. These are the things that you have to learn to enrich your English language. I hope that you understand. And I've been getting good number of mails from so many viewers and subscribers. One of the viewers asked me whether there are any important students. I'm going to finish this second episode. I hope that you are very keen and very much interested in learning communication skills. Keep mailing me. My mail ID is swapnamadu79@gmail.com. I just write it on the board, Swapna Madhu small m 79@gmail.com. Thank you for watching my video, my dear friends and folks. Please keep mailing again and again, and at the same time give me your queries. I'll respond immediately. Thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you.